Welcome to Highly Sensitive Healing. I'm Lauren LaSalle, a former therapist, a highly sensitive person, and a mentor for HSPs. For too long, I felt like there was something wrong with me. I felt everything deeply, sounds, emotions, other people's moods, and I learned pretty early on just to push through, to quiet my intuition, and to try to keep up with what everyone else was doing and what society expected of me. But the truth is, my sensitivity was never the problem. I just didn't have the language, support, or tools to understand it. This podcast was created for highly sensitive people who are tired of trying to toughen up or fix themselves and are ready to heal in a way that honors how they're wired. Here, we talk about nervous system regulation, unhelpful thought patterns, emotional overwhelm, and self-trust through a gentle, compassionate lens. You don't need to become someone new to feel better. You don't need to push harder or try more. You get to learn how to care for yourself in ways that actually work for you. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, misunderstood, or like you were carrying too much, this space is for you. My hope is that each episode helps you feel a little less alone and a little more at home in yourself. So, wherever you're listening from, welcome. Take a breath, settle in, and let's begin. Today, I am so excited to have my first guest on the podcast since I relaunched it. And you can probably tell in my voice, I have been sick for a while. And so I'm not going to talk much in this intro. I'm just going to talk about my guest. So I got to talk to Brianna Pastor in anticipation of her new book called Bellyache, Poems for Sensitive Souls that just came out on February 24th. And I had the privilege of being able to read it before I spoke with her. And you'll hear when I talk to her about how much I loved it. So I'll just leave it at that. So Brianna Pastor is a queer writer, empath, advocate, and author of the poetry collections Good Grief and Bellyache. Dedicated to helping others recognize their worth regardless of circumstances, Pastor centers her poetry around mental health, childhood trauma, and what it means to heal, with sensitivity and love at the root of all things. Brianna resides in New Jersey with her spouse and her cat, Boogie. So, without further ado, here is my conversation with Bree. Thank you so much for being here. I am so excited. I'm probably just going to start off by talking a lot because I have a lot that I want to tell you.
Tell me everything.
I have your book, Bellyache. I have a 3.5-year-old and a 6-month-old, so I don't get a lot of, and I'm with them all the time, so I don't get a lot of time to read. If I do, I read like 2 sentences and I'm interrupted and then I like don't know what's happening. So your book was so perfect because it's just like so digestible, like just the format and the poems and everything. And I actually read it in the bathtub, which was like the perfect place to read it.
Amazing.
The perfect place. And so this is the first like full book that I've read in a long time. And yes, you should be honored. And it is so like the way that you speak to how highly sensitive people experience things. I feel like every part of it, I was like, yes, yes. And I just related so hard. And then there were parts that gave me goosebumps and parts that just made me want to cry because it just like touched me so deeply. And yeah, I just really appreciated it so much and I loved it so much and thank you so much for putting this out into the world because we need it. We need to feel like other people understand us. And this book totally made me feel understood.
That makes me, I don't even have a good word for how happy that makes me because, I mean, with everything going on in the world, it's so hard to be like marketing something that you've done, but my only like solace in that is being like, but it could help somebody who's thinking in the same way that I am right now or feeling things a little much right now.
Yes.
So that's what I keep clinging on to. So it means a lot to me. And I'm so glad you read it in the bathtub when you're relaxing.
Yes. Yes. I don't know. It just, as I got into it, I was like, this feels like just the perfect environment for this because I can like
Yeah.
be fully in it. I'm in like a nice warm place. It just, yeah, it just felt so good. And so I have to say, I thought this was sort of funny. When I was just because I put as I just always have, I put a lot of
Yeah.
tabs in it because I had so many things that really stood out to me. And I actually had to like go through again and take some of the tabs out because I was like, I don't like this is too much.
Never.
I can't keep track of this. But so the first tab that I put in was actually in the author's note.
Ooh, okay,
And
okay.
I was like, I haven't even started this book and she's already getting to me. So the sentence that the two sentences the part that really I was like oh yes you said the gift of feeling so deeply is something that makes us us and I believe we are meant to heal as much of the world as we can and I was just like yes this
Mm,
is so how I feel too because like my approach to working with HSPs because I'm a mentor for HSPs is like this is who we are like this
right.
it's not bad, it's not wrong, it's not something to like fix or change. It is what makes us us. And
Right.
I also so believe that we are here, even though it's so painful at times to be us, we are here to help other people and to make
Hmm.
the world a better place. And so when I just reading that, I was like, she's my new best friend. I just
Yes.
I love that. I just love it so much.
That was important. If I could go back and add to this author's note, I would have made it even longer. But something that sticks out to me when I read that back to myself, or when anyone, no one's ever bookmarked the author's note before, so this is like amazing, um, is the difference between he- have taking on the responsibility of healing the world and just healing the world just by being yourself, like just
Yes.
by being like not taking that on as like, oh, this is my purpose here. It is, it could be your purpose, but it's not your sole responsibility. So I just think any sensitive, highly sensitive person I've ever met thinks it's their responsibility to be healing the world. And on some level, maybe it is, what we can do good things with who we are, but we don't have to take that on as like our sole purpose. We can just heal the world by being and accepting as how sensitive we are,
Ugh,
you know?
yes, I so agree. Oh my gosh. And that reminds me, this is sort of I don't mean for this to be a plug for my work, but
No,
so
go.
I have a community. It's very we have like 7 of us in there now. It's free. But then we do meet once a month live on Zoom for meetings, which is paid. But anyway, I've been doing this for a couple years. And so there's like a core group of I think 7 of us. And we like they are just the most amazing people. And none of them had really connected with another HSP before, and now we're all so close, and everybody is so amazingly supportive, accepts everybody just for who they are. And I feel like that's just like what you're saying, like
Mhm.
just accepting other people for who they are, and then they can help us accept ourselves for who we are, not needing
Mhm.
to change. Just who and just that, yeah, it's been so healing for all of us. Even, I mean, for me too, to just have that group of other HSPs who get it and can be like, you are okay. Like this is amazing. Like you are amazing. It's
Right.
hard, but you are amazing and there's nothing wrong with you. Like it's yeah, it's so healing.
It's so safe too. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not every day that you can just walk outside of your house and the people around you are also highly sensitive people. They're not, I mean, you don't know, right? And
right.
so it can be such a lonely experience.
Hmm.
And it's so rare, I feel, to even make friends, like real good life in-person connections,
Hmm.
because it's just so rare to find anybody that's just so willing to pour their heart out that in a way that like we don't have control over.
Hmm.
So that makes me really happy that y'all have this space to be with each other.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I love doing this podcast too because I get to talk to people like you. And I always just feel like, I don't know, just like automatically I feel a connection. Maybe it's also because I've read your book and I'm like, yeah, she gets it. But like, I don't know, there's just something about talking to somebody else when you both know you're highly sensitive and you just like, there's just this other level of understanding.
Hmm.
It's awesome. It's amazing. So thank you for putting your books out into the world because
Oh.
it is so needed. And seriously, everybody go buy it. Like I'm not just saying that because
Yeah.
she's on the podcast. Seriously, it is an amazing, amazing book.
Thank you.
Um, and so I wanna I have another quote that I well
Yeah.
bookmarked. Um, to go, it sort of ties in with you talking about us feeling like we have to heal the world and
Hmm.
heal other people. You said, I find myself wanting to stretch the skin over your body and live your pain for you. And I was like, yes. Oh my gosh, that is an amazing way of putting that.
Oh, yeah. That I mean, I feel like if you're highly sensitive, that one's heavy,
Yes.
right? Okay, so when people read that, they're like, "Oh, that's so sweet." And I'm like, "No. That's sweet." I mean, yeah, maybe, but it's like this other level of empathy that almost makes your skin crawl, or like you jumping out of your skin kind of way. Like
Hmm.
you're watching somebody or a group of people, or you know, even if we're just scrolling online and we come across, "Oh, that's so sad," like that happened today. It's like, well, I wish I was me instead. Like I wish I could take away that pain from other people that they're experiencing. But that's such a heavy cloak to wear,
Yeah.
especially in this age of social media where every single thing you're scrolling through is sad and hurtful. And it's like, wow, I'm just going to keep adding to my cloak of responsibility here. And
Mm-hmm.
there's also another quote, like if you carry someone's jacket for long enough, your arms get tired, you put it on.
Hmm.
And it's like you have to be really cautious what you decide to say, okay, I'll carry this for a little while. Like you have to really be intentional. And it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Are there ways that you have found to sort of work with that and set boundaries in your life?
That was going to be, I mean, my answer was the most important one has to be boundaries,
Mm.
or simply just saying no, which I have found to be, as a recovering people pleaser, um, the most difficult, but also the most rewarding.
Mm.
We have this tendency, I mean, I speak for myself as a highly sensitive person. I can't speak for everyone, but I have this tendency, instead of being direct, I beat around the bush because I'm afraid to hurt anyone's feelings. So instead of just saying, no, I really don't feel up to it, I'll say, well, maybe I'll let you know. Like, we'll see how it goes. And like, maybe tomorrow, like instead of just saying no, I don't want to. So being firm and direct, not in a, I used to mistake that as being mean,
Hmm.
and it's not. It's something I'm always working on. I'm not the greatest. I often have to turn to my wife and be like, is this direct enough? And they're like, no, you know. So I'm always learning, but I think having the ability to check in with yourself and be like, this situation, if I were to take this situation on and it gets worse, could I handle it?
Mm.
And if the answer makes me anxious, it makes me start, I can feel it in my body when something is already heavy. And I had to learn to say no.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we were so like I guess blessed, I don't know, is the only word I can think of, to be able to feel things every way so deeply. But I feel like then you have to learn what to do with it. Like what is my body actually telling me? Like I feel this
Right.
in my body. What does this mean? And
Right.
then how do I need to communicate this in a way that is in alignment with what my body is telling me, not what my brain thinks I need to say to make this other person happy
Yes.
or to make them have them still like me, to make them not feel angry with me or whatever else our brain tells us how people are going to respond when they probably aren't responding that way.
Yep. And it's because, I think maybe 80% of the fear in that is how that other person is going to respond because
Mhm.
we're going to be sensitive to how they respond either way. So it's not only, you're setting a boundary, that's hard. You're saying no, that's also hard. And then you'll have to deal with they may not react very well. And sure, that's a part of relational learning, but as someone like as being highly sensitive, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I'm gonna upset them, maybe I hurt them, like, and we're always thinking about everybody else.
Hmm. Yeah.
You have to, it's hard, but learning to connect the dots with what your body's telling you, not in a triggered sense, like
Right.
differentiating between the two.
Yeah. And it is amazing once you start actually listening to yourself and going with that. And then you're like, wow, I feel so much better. I wonder why. Because you're listening to yourself.
Right,
You're
right.
not worrying about the other people. You're actually worrying about you and how you will feel.
Hmm.
Yeah. It just I think it's really sad that so many of us like it takes a long time to get to that point where we're actually listening to ourselves and truly caring about what we think about us and how we're doing
Right,
and
right.
not just worrying about other people and how they're going to react to us. It's a lot of work sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, it would be so easy to just throw in the towel and say, I'm just not even going to bother. I'm not
Mhm.
even, and I can't tell you how many times in my life I've done that where I just, you know, I turn my phone off, I don't talk to anybody because I'm like, I just can't. I
Mhm.
can't do it right now. I don't even want to attempt to do it, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but that I need that. We need that sometimes.
Hmm.
And people in our life that will allow us to have that space to
Yeah.
just figure it out.
Hmm. And that's, I mean, that's another thing that's hard sometimes is explaining to people or trying to explain to them what we need.
Mhm.
And like that's just like I just need that. Like I just ha like downtime, space. I just need it.
Yep.
And then hopefully people understand. And if they don't, then you sort of have to figure out like, well, now what do we do?
Hmm. I find that setting that precedent early on of I'm not going to be available 24/7,
Mm,
like whether you're making like a new friendship or, you know, not answering back right away, not making other people the priority, then I feel as though they don't expect that in the long run. Like I feel like
right.
there's a lot of pressure on like always being accessible, always being available, talking, a certain amount. And we just like don't, I don't know about you or anyone else, but I don't have that in me.
Mm, no.
You know, I need to be alone. I need floor time. I need to zone out,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially now, like texting, I mean, people I think just assume you're always available and it
Yep.
just can go back and forth for like ever. And yeah, sometimes I'm just like, I can't. I don't like having a long conversation like this. It's too much for my brain because then you
Yep.
put it down and then they text you and then you have to read that and then respond and then it's like who knows how much I don't know. I don't know if that's
Right.
just me or like an HSP
Nope.
thing, but like if I'm not I it's so much more comfortable if I'm in the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
we have it, it is done than like little bits. That's
Agreed.
just like my brain is like on, off, stop, start.
Yes, I mean you have to pick up the phone, you have to unlock it, you have to open. Like it's just I mean I sound ridiculous.
No, I
It's
totally
like
get it.
especially if it's like a really like sensitive topic or if you're like going back and forth about something and you have anxiety or you're
Mhm.
waiting on a response and it's like like then you're not like breathing the whole
Yeah.
time and it's like okay like how fast can I open my phone and it's like I'd rather you just call me even if you're gonna call me and scream at me or
Right.
tell me where to go just call me instead.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I get
Like,
that.
there's a handful of people that I will text back daily, but they know that if I don't answer, it's not because I don't care about them. It's because, oh, well, she's probably reading or she's probably relaxing. Like they know I'm tired perpetually. So,
hmm
you know,
Uh, perpetually tired. Yeah. I think I could rename myself that and it would
I think I might
fit.
make that into like a shirt or something.
Can you please? I'll buy one.
I'm gonna write that down. I'm in the process of making new merch, so
Oh
perpetually
my
tired.
gosh.
It's just like ongoing.
Yeah, it is. Oh, I would, yes. You have already sold one. I'm serious. You've already sold a perpetually tired shirt.
I'm gonna just send it to you. I feel like we just brainstormed
Thank-
it during this call.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I know it's so, oh my gosh. Yeah, just my whole life perpetually tired. Before I had kids, after I had kids, it doesn't matter if I have
Hmm.
kids or not. You always hear about how tiring it is, but now I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I was pretty tired beforehand. It's just how I am.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. I think I froze there.
You did,
Can you
but
see
you're
me?
back. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I give you so many props because I think I would just be on the floor all the time if I had decided to have children. I don't think I would get up.
I mean, yeah, it's something that I've literally like my whole life wanted to be a mom. So
Hmm.
it's just that, like, yeah, it's just like a part of me, like it had to happen. But
Yeah.
if you decide not to, I totally get it.
I saw somebody on TikTok say, oh, I wish I had known who said this. I love kids. I would love to be a mother. I I know I'd be a great mother, but it would kill me.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. I and thankfully my wife is the exact same way. And we're like, you know what? If one day we wake up and decide, I think I can handle, I think I'm ready to handle this. But every day we're like, yeah, no, I need to lay on the floor for 5 hours.
It's good you're on the same exact page with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very grateful.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I have another quote.
Yeah.
Oh, this one, when just looking at it gives me goosebumps. Every time I read it, it gives me goosebumps.
What
And
page
like
is
I
it?
feel it in my stomach. It's on page 72.
Oh, I was right around there. Okay.
I have spent the it
Oh,
just
oh, this
right? I
one.
can't even
Sorry.
say it out loud. It just like it gives me goosebumps. Oh my God. Okay. I have spent the major I'm gonna start crying if I read this. Okay, I'll try again. We can do it. I have spent the majority of my life making sure that people know I love them. I spent a fraction of that time asking if they loved me just the same. Oh my God, full body chills. Yeah, that one really like viscerally hits me
Yeah.
because it I don't even know how to like I have tears in my eyes. I don't even know how to describe how it makes me feel, but like thank you for putting that into words because
Yeah.
wow, I feel like that's such like I mean, yeah, I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like that's such a common thing among HSPs is
Hmm.
like we worry about how other people, we were talking about this before, but like we worry about how other people feel so much, and we want people to feel loved and cared for,
Hmm.
and we don't really think about ourselves, which
Right.
sometimes can be great. But the way that we do it, I feel like it can be really, really harmful.
Yep.
And I know that I've had a lot of experiences before I was like, this is not working. I am not approaching any type of relationship like this anymore. I am not giving like 1,000,000% of me in this without
Right.
getting anything back because it's like slowly killing me. And yeah, man, this quote just really,
At that, to add to that, at that rate, and that's why I added the last line actually, the so who's really to blame? Because I think it is very, very common, at least from my personal experience, to I grew up thinking I had to make sure that everybody knew. Like every person I encountered knew that they were loved, knew that like they mattered, and I'm still like this.
hmm
Like I think a lot about like, does this person know that they matter? Like I have to let them know like that this made an impact on me, or I was thinking about them then, and that's really something that has always been important to me and that I never received.
hmm
And so I went out of my way to overcompensate for that. And I felt this just need, I don't want anyone else to ever feel this gut-wrenching, like, I don't matter.
hmm
And you spend so much time giving, and then you later on you're void of something, and you don't understand why, and you're like, well, why am I not receiving this back? But we're choosing like to give that out, right?
hmm
So here I am saying, whether it was past relationships or past friendships or whatever the situation may be, is like, well, I gave you everything and till there was nothing left.
hmm
And it's like, well, I didn't ask you for everything.
Right,
Like, I didn't ask you to over just be you. And I'm like, okay, that's me thinking I had to just naturally do that.
right.
And, of course, like there is a mutual give and receive and such with respect and love and whatnot in friendships and relationships, but you shouldn't have to completely strip yourself of all of your capacity. Just make sure that somebody else feels comfortable.
Right.
If they know you well enough, they will just be comfortable,
hmm
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. I feel like I spent so much of my life doing that because yeah, I think I felt sort of invisible a lot and I wanted to other people to know that I saw them. And
Right,
I feel like we have a gift for that too, like being able to see people and
right,
yeah, I still do that too. I want people to know that they're seen and they're heard.
right.
And when I realized that just giving everything wasn't working, I think that's when I my husband now was who I started dating right after I was like, I need to actually care for myself.
Hmm. Right.
Um, like I'm not just gonna jump in 100%. Like I need to take care of myself and hopefully I'll find somebody that will like me for me and not just because I'm
Hmm.
putting my all into it, which nobody really liked that anyway. I guess like it
Right.
was too much.
Yeah.
Um yeah, and so then I yeah, and now we're married and it worked great, but it is amazing. Sometimes you just have to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and then you're like, "Okay,
Right.
this no longer works."
Yeah. And it's like nobody wants to tell you like, hey, this is kind of a lot
Right.
because you don't have bad intentions. like how do you tell someone like stop loving me? You
Right.
know, stop. And it's hard. Like I've even been in that position where I'm like, all right, this is a little overbearing, but I feel uncomfortable telling them that because, you know,
Hmm.
so I think being aware of when we're doing that is really helpful. And my wife likes to say, let's just take it back a notch. Because
Yeah.
my wife was the person I married once I started also taking care of myself.
Oh, I
I
love
know
that.
I love that it works that way.
Yeah.
Um, not no hate towards anyone I've ever dated before, but I was not a good version of myself in any, doesn't matter who I was with.
Hmm.
And once I decided like to put myself first for the first time in my life and just be myself and not, that's how I knew, okay, this is the person I know I'm going to marry because once we were in the relationship, I didn't feel like it was taking away
Mm.
layers of it was adding layers and it was forcing me to open layers and oh, look at this layer of yourself. That's totally okay. Whereas in previous relationships, it was you know, the biggest thing we would argue about. And it's like,
Mm.
but that's who you are, and it's
Yes.
accepted.
Wow, you could have been describing my experience. Exact. Like that is crazy.
The highly sensitive experience.
Yeah, that's exactly how it worked for me too with my husband. I'm so happy for us.
I know. Go us. Yay.
That's amazing. But it is so funny. Like sometimes you really have to do some work before you can attract the things that you want. Like, I don't know.
Right.
I just feel like once things shift, once you have some realizations,
Hmm.
then things can change and then things really change for
Right.
the better. And also I have
Yeah.
another quote, page 60. And in a magical turn of events, I chose me, and nothing was the same after that.
So that one's a little whimsical. And I did that on purpose because I feel like no one says like I have a bellyache unless like kids, like I specifically chose that word, not stomach ache, not, ouch, like
Hmm.
bellyache. I wanted to add a little bit of whimsy in here because I feel like one of the most important things with being highly sensitive is acknowledging the littlest version of ourselves.
Hmm.
And I forget what movie I was watching when this specific poem came to me, but it was like a fairy tale type of movie, and at the end they were speaking like, and in a magical turn of, and I was like, I like that line. Let me sit with it for a few days and see how I feel, like if anything comes to me. And I was thinking about when did my life change, like ultimately on an uphill, and I was like, when I chose me. And
Hmm.
it just like kind of came together that way. But I liked that it was like it sounded like the end of a fairy tale almost.
Yeah, I love that. And it's so true. I mean, I feel like once you choose yourself, and I love how these quotes are just coming up very well in our conversation
I
too.
know.
I was like, "Oh, time for
That's my life.
this
Oh,
one." Yeah, choosing yourself is so hard, but so, so worth it.
hmm. It's hard to like know like, well, what does that mean? Like,
Right.
like, oh, I woke up in the morning and I chose to shower. Is that me choosing? I mean, like, but in the big ways, it's like it's so difficult
Hmm.
to know like, am I choosing me? Am I being selfish? Am I like knowing what the right thing to do is usually the hardest thing to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like selfish is I feel like so many people say like, "Oh, well, that feels selfish."
Yeah.
With so many things. And I'm not really sure where that comes from. I guess just from us wanting to be there so much for other people.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a really common word that I've heard used a lot, like with clients and things like that
Right.
feels selfish. And it's like to say that you don't want to. go do that because you are so tired. Like, that's not selfish. That's taking care of yourself.
Right, exactly. I feel as though anyone that truly cares about you wouldn't ask you to do that if you're not feeling well.
Hmm.
And that's what you have to just constantly remind yourself is like they're if they can't see that you're having a hard time, it's not a personal thing,
Hmm.
you know, then I reevaluate,
Yeah.
I'm constantly evaluating my life.
Hmm. Okay, so I do have some questions to ask you about actually
Yeah.
writing the book because um I'm so curious. So you have another book too.
Mhm.
So how did you decide or like how did this come about that you got published? Like how did you decide that or what was the process with that?
With the first book, or
Both. Either. Just
so
just the whole thing.
I had originally self-published Good Grief on my own on Amazon Kindle or KDP.
Hmm.
And in the first 5 months, it was staying at like the number one, I guess, Amazon rank for a while.
Oh
And I
wow.
and I was selling a lot of, I mean, I was on all social media platforms. It kind of just took off in a way that I really was not prepared for. Um,
Wow.
which I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for, the opportunity to be able to do that full time. Like I am chronically ill, and so being able to work from home is a dream.
Yeah.
Um, and so I had self-published it, and then I started having publishers reach out to me saying like, "Hey, you're gonna do something bigger with this?" And I was like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I think I need to get an agent to I don't know what any of this means. And so, I had asked a few of my writer friends, like, oh, do you have an agent? Is there anyone you recommend? Anyone taking on clients? So I met with a few and I chose the one that I felt most aligned with. And we wrote up a whole proposal for the already existing book and sent it out to publishers, and Harper wanted it. So I really liked my conversations with them and getting to know the team that I'd be working with. So they republished Good Grief, and then they published Bellyache
That is
after.
so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. So you just sort of put it out there and you were like, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That is
Yeah.
such a good example of like, just do it.
Right. I mean, I had been sharing my work online for over a decade. Like,
Wow.
I think 9 years before my Instagram took off at all. I mean, I was at 3,000 followers for most of that 9 years. And then I put the book out. I started taking it seriously and posting every single day. And then out of nowhere, it would just, I was stepping into this career that was asking me to already know what to do. And I, I'm very grateful, but it was so overwhelming.
I bet.
It's like, I need to have a website. I'm just a small little, my friend likes to call me his little anxious squirrel, because that's, just this tiny little thing in New Jersey, writing books. And suddenly people are like, who are you? I'm like,
Oh.
I'm just a human. Um, but yeah, super, you just have to keep, if it's something that you really, really love and it's something that you've really, like your whole heart just loves doing it and it makes you happy, then you just need to take yourself seriously and be a little bit delusional about it. You
Hmm.
know, I always tell people just like be on social media and pretend you have a huge following and it'll come to you. You know,
Hmm.
just do it.
Oh my gosh, that's such a cool story. I had no idea it was going to go that way. I thought you were like, well, I was trying to publish this book, and so I liked it. No, that's amazing. You are helping and supporting so many people by putting these words out there.
Thank you.
And when this comes out, your book will be out, Bellyache will be out. Right now, it's not. So I mean, I'm guessing like not that many people have read it yet.
I
Just
think, yeah, yeah, just a few. I
just a
think it
few.
comes out 4 days, 3 days,
Yeah.
24th.
So I mean, yeah, the number of people I'm sure you will have read this book and impact in such an amazing way. And just remember that. Like, I wish you could talk to all of them like we're talking
I
because I
know.
bet they'd all say like the same thing. Um, does it feel weird to put something out there and then just sort of like, well, there it is. Like, do people send you messages a lot and say like, oh, this really resonated with me, or this was like, what is that like?
In the most like humble way ever. Like I can't look at my inboxes much anymore. Only because I can
Mm,
feel that the if someone reaches out and says like I can't tell you how much I resonated with this, like this is what happened to me, and then I end
mm,
up absorbing that. And then I'm walking around the rest of the day with like this really heavy chest, and I haven't fully figured out how to put that bu protective bubble.
hmm
So for my own well-being, I will go through and answer like one a day, or I'll like it. And maybe in that moment I didn't have the capacity to like respond, but I really did appreciate them telling me. I do really love hearing that it made some sort of impact on somebody.
hmm
And because that's like my sole purpose in putting the books out. I mean, obviously I love doing it as a career, but I wouldn't write so vulnerably about specific things if I didn't want to connect with people about it.
hmm
I actually had another book planned as my second book.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this was not this was sitting, I mean, not the whole manuscript, but the concept of Bellyache was sitting in my computer. And I'd work on it from time to time when something came to me. But once the state of the world started becoming worse and worse, I found myself writing about it more and more and feeling everything on such a large scale that I was like, I think I need to, I have this calling that I just need to put this one out
hmm
instead of the other one I was going to propose. Um, and it feels very timely.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah. I think so many people are going to read this and be like, I needed that because I didn't know I needed it and I did.
Should I be doing like working on a bellyache part two?
Yes.
I'm writing that down.
And the t-shirts. Don't
Bellyache.
forget the t-shirts.
Yes, part two. All right.
Yeah, I feel so fortunate that you were pitched for my podcast because first of all, I get a lot of emails about pitches to come on the podcast,
Right.
and most of them I'm like, nah, like I have limited time now. It's hard to find times to record. Um, I don't know, something about you and the book. I was just like, yeah, I want to do that. That sounds really cool. And
Oh,
I don't usually read poetry books. Like this might be the first one. But then
I'm
they're like,
so
"Do you want a
honored.
copy?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I read it and I was like, "I love this."
That makes me so happy.
So it just, I don't know. Yeah, I'm so glad you're here, and it's been really great to talk to you. And I do have one more quote
Yeah, girl.
for the end, but before I say, it, oh my gosh, it just works so well with the theme of this podcast. But is there anything else that you wanted to share, or anything that we haven't touched you wanted to bring up before we start to wrap up?
I'm just super grateful for you having me. I'm very much like a podcast girly instead of like I'm very bad at public speaking. I get very overwhelmed and anxious. So I'm really grateful that you had me here. And no, just I hope whoever's listening is easy on themselves as they're feeling, whether they're reading this or not, um, as they're feeling everything they're feeling right now. And if they do decide to read it, I hope that they really love it.
They will. If they
Yeah.
don't, then they didn't read
Yeah.
it.
Then you're not sensitive. Just kidding.
So I found another quote. It's on page 95, in case you're curious. Um, it was I was like, yes. Okay. So it says, it is okay to be a person who is still healing, because the truth is that we always will be. It is an always practice, that forever kind of love with yourself. And I was like, that is like what this podcast is about. So that was
Yes.
absolutely perfect. And the first time I went through, it didn't stick out to me like that. And then I went through again before we got on here, and I was like, there it is.
Yes.
It's the perfect one for the end.
That's the thing about poetry, I feel like some might not sit with you, but a few months or years down the road when you look at it again, you're like, oh, that means something totally different now.
Yeah.
Like I get it differently.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, this one it was a more hopeful uh poem. I hope it feels that way
Mm-hmm.
um to readers. But we have this like notion that, I'll often say to myself, well, I've been self-loving myself and why am I not better yet? And why am I still so sensitive and feeling this way? And it's like this is a lifelong journey.
Mm-hmm.
This is not something you're gonna just grow out of.
Right.
So yeah, that was really important to me to indicate it's an always practice all
Mm-hmm.
the time. And it's exhausting, but it's
Yeah.
worth it.
It is. Yeah. And it's so interesting too with healing because I feel like sometimes it doesn't feel like that's what's happening. But then
Right,
you
right.
look back at like an old version of yourself from, I don't know, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and you're like, that's a different person. Like I have come so far. I didn't realize all the
Right.
stuff that happened in between, but
Hmm.
I've come so far from who I was whenever time ago. And then, 10 or 15 years look back again, like we'll be maybe a different version of ourselves. And
Right.
it's just ongoing. And I liked that you said that forever kind of love with yourself.
Hmm.
Um, because we have to love ourselves. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, please love yourself. That's something that I'm so about is like when it really comes down to it, like we are the only person we consistently have in our
Right.
lives. So let's be friends with them and love
Hmm.
them, and be there for them like we're there for everybody else.
Right. And even, whether you're in a relationship or in a marriage, um, whatever you would consider a forever love, everyone's perspective is different. You watch that person become so many different versions of themselves, and you
Mhm.
learn how to love each different version. And why are we excluding ourselves from that as if we're not half of that union?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
whether even if you're single and it's like, yeah, oh, gotta find a partner, but why? Like, what about you?
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'm really glad you liked that one.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, those were, I think, some of my favorite quotes, the ones that I brought up. And I will have all of your information, social media, everything in the
Okay.
episode description. And um, yeah, thank you so much for doing this. I
Oh,
really appreciate you being here.
thank you for having me and thank you for all the laughs. I needed that.
Oh, me too.
I hear you.
Thank you so much for listening to Highly Sensitive Healing. You can help support the podcast by taking a minute to rate and review it, share your favorite episode with a friend, or become a subscriber on Patreon. Visit laurenlasalle.com for information about my mentorship programs, join my email list to stay up to date with how I can support you, as well as exclusive email list perks, and connect with me on Instagram at I am Lauren LaSalle. Happy healing.